sound, my voice. Still have to fiddle a bit with my gloves. So yeah, let's keep the live chat here and just let me know if you can hear me. We are here in this one of our suburbia and there's a local bus now going there. Wonderful. It's good to have all of you here. Jason and Petri and Glenn is already woken up also. Wonderful. And Idor. Hello all everybody. Let's turn on the star lights on this wonderful 1937 bike from Svalan, from Falun, Sweden. The brand is Svalan. Oh, I do have some patches with me. Of course, I'll show it to you later, but we could start going. And I don't really have much plans as for this ride. We'll just go somewhere, and also the illumination should be kicking in any moment. It's now 5 p.m. exactly here in Oulu. And the illumination is not yet on. And another bus. Wonderful. Hurry, it depends on the definition of time. Might be that for the first time we are going to and not to front any of the potential future viewers further away. The blue hour, yes indeed, Brandon. The blue hour is about to start. It's not quite there yet. The sun's down below the horizon maybe 40 minutes ago, I would say. It's interesting. If anybody can advise me how I can keep on the chat messages visible for a longer time. I can see when they pop up. I can see them. Yeah, but they disappear way too fast. So if you have any good tips about that, let me know. We are now in the suburb. Oh, there we go. The illumination kicks in. That was good timing. Hello to Catalonia, to Awesome and Busy. Yeah. Same thing here. As it's the first stream that I'm doing completely alone and not in any kind of congress, I'm also wondering how it's going. I hope it's gonna be good, but I'm sure there's gonna be something to fiddle with and something that's not going to work out too well. So this is just some traditional regular bicycle paths built in 1980s. In Mantila region, we've got a couple of people cycling here. There we go. And the regular underpass. Good morning to Southern California also. Nice to have you here. And over here, the bike path is going to turn wider. So last year we completed this section ahead of us. It used to be like this, 3.5 meters wide bicycle paths shared with pedestrians. But this now, at this point, it's 5.6 meters wide. And the left side here is for people cycling and the right side for people walking. Of course, you can't see the markings here now when there's snow cover on the ground, but I'm actually surprised how well people remember the signs. And there are traffic signs, but yeah, when you're cycling or when you're walking, many people still don't think that they are traffic, even though they are, and don't necessarily look at the traffic signs like this one here. And in the intersections you can see that there's some red coating to keep the drivers awake. Hello to Tallinn, Estonia also. Good to have you here. And plus 25 Israel. Oh, that's horrible. I feel for you. Seriously speaking, 25 is still, I think, for me personally, tolerable. But yeah, usually like 20-25 is my personal maximum. I hope I don't have to experience too much more. And Glenn is asking there if this is a typical amount of snow for Oulu this year. Some people are saying that this is even more than typical, but I'd say this is pretty typical. The beginning of winter we didn't really have too much snow. It was actually surprising and almost scary how little snow we had. But just like a week or two ago we got huge snow means. The temperature now is about minus 14 centigrade. There is a thermometer up ahead in a few hundred meters, but that one usually shows 2-3 degrees more than what it actually is. And as you can see, there is still a lot of car traffic and it's really lots of space here. The whole city is really sprawled and mostly consists of single house suburbs, single family houses, and lots of them they have 2 or maybe even 3 cars in the household. So yeah, many people still use cars here, and the model share of cars in Oulu here, it's like 50%, 55, maybe even 54, I can't remember exactly. So yeah, we've got still plenty to do here. And as many of you probably know, it all starts with the land use and land planning. What kind of zoning you do and so on. So let's see what it says here. There is a reading of minus 12, what this one says. Yeah. There we go. Also, I would be interested in hearing from you, how is the video quality? This area here is Karjasilta. We started from Mäntylä, a bit south of the city center, and we are going north as of now towards the city center, and then who knows where. In Edmonton there's minus 32 Celsius. Oh, I would love that. You know, in this part of the city at least, we still haven't had that cold yet. I think the minimum was like minus 29 for this winter. I wish it would be colder. Here is a typical roundabout here. They have to yield us. You see there's triangles from them, yielding signs. So in theory we could go here, for example. And we could go here and we would have the right of way all the time, but that wouldn't be too friendly. Video quality is good, I'm happy to hear that. So there we go. There's a similar amount of snow in Canada. I didn't catch the name of the place, it's difficult to read from the small screen, but okay, the audio is a bit loud, so maybe I'll just have to speak a little more quiet. And I was originally trying to use a different app for broadcasting. This is the YouTube app. But as I had already scheduled this live stream, there was no way I could access that live stream from via that app, and they actually said that they are going to have an update to that app in 2 days. Doesn't help too much now. So here is an interesting quirk about one of our counters. So here, this one, it counts both people walking and cycling, and as you see, the number of people walking is really high, 4,000. But that's because this device here in the center of the screen now, it has an optical detection, and it also detects the cars going past here. So as they've removed some snow from between the bike path and the drive lanes, they are also counting now the cars. We'll have to fix that later. And it says there, thank you for cycling. And it will also say thank you for walking a bit later. Let's continue. Lots of cars. Yeah, so Jason, I was trying to use the Prism Live Studio myself too. And I already messaged you if you have some inside tips about that. Oh look, let's see what we have here. There we go. We do have these asshole drivers here too, as you see. Not the way to go. Still have a lot to do. Now it's starting to become the blue moment, the blue hour. In Finnish we would say sininen hetki, blue moment. In English it's apparently blue hour. So maybe it lasts longer in the English speaking countries. So yeah, I was going to use the Prism Live Studio, but there was no way yet to access this scheduled live stream yet via the app. Lots of cars. But even in this car-centric city of ours, as you see, it's possible to create really good cycling conditions. Hey to Kuopio, Maija. And Glenn, I'm having a handheld gimbal and a mobile phone on that one. That's my setup. And I've got an external microphone attached to my phone. And we'll be coming to one of my least favorite spots here. Lots of traffic lights here. So yeah, correct. There is no gravel, no grit, no sand on the path. Well, tiny traces, you can see there maybe a couple, but they are just coming from somewhere. So this kind of, oh sorry, the cable got jammed. Hope you guys still hear me. So the snowy surface usually offers you a perfectly good grip, so there's no need for gravel / grit. So yeah, look at this. We only add some gravel or grit or sand if necessary, so if we don't get new snow in like let's say 1 or 2 weeks and the surface would start to get slippery, then we can add a tiny layer. Really slow going. Yeah, I already actually tried to move the mic a bit further away, but apparently it didn't help. It's a bit difficult to find any attachment points any further. I can try that. But another question about the mic. Is it picking up wind? Can you hear the wind? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So as you've noticed, I've had to stop now 3 times already because of the traffic lights. So this is definitely not ideal. And part of the reason why this, especially the central area, isn't the most bicycle friendly, well, you can still reach every place by bicycle, but it could be much better, and it's going to be much better, is that we had our first original bicycle master plan made in 1972, but the city center was excluded from that, and they only made a new plan in 1983 and chose a totally wrong type of infrastructure there, and we are still suffering from the consequences of those choices that were made 40 years ago. Now finally, yes, as somebody pointed it out in the chat, it's minus 14. The forecast is telling that it's going lower all the time, and it could go to minus 19, minus 20 according to some forecasts, but other forecasts say that it goes to minus 22 already today, and in the morning it should go down to even minus 26 or minus 27. I don't know, it feels like they are doing clickbait. Hello Don! Nice to have you here. Oh, Glenn, I hope we will be the European Capital of Culture in 2026, but I believe the bid is not yet finished. So there's currently 3 cities, I believe, in Finland, Savonlinna, Tampere and Oulu competing for that. Yeah, this is a big part of our bid, is our cycling culture. There's a tight race indeed, Jonas, especially with cycling conditions and cycling culture, don't you think? Let's go through from here and pass these junctions semi-legally and go to the pedestrianized center area of Oulu. So all of these streets that you are seeing now used to belong to cars and not people. So this pedestrianized area here was opened in 1987. It's been expanded ever since, but it used to be a huge battle to get it finally done. They actually started it already in 1960s, and they made an experiment in 1967, which was totally unsuccessful because it was really executed really poorly, and thus the battle continued another 20 years before something actually happened. So yes, indeed, this part of the walking district in the very city center, it's heated, and we are kind of not actively heating it. There is a citywide district heating system where a lot of these buildings around the city and even in the suburbs belong to. So there's a central heating power plant in the city that heats up water that circulates underground in insulated pipes, and when the water is returning, we're using that returning water to heat up this area. And another underpass a bit further away from here. Yes, it's heated streets. Luca, so for how long did you live here, Luca? You're welcome. And this area here used to be the central car parking area, the most important car parking area in the city center, still in 1986. It's a wonderful even space now. 5 months, January to May in Oulu, the best months by far. Yeah. Now let's continue somewhere else. Let's go this way. So now, as this road is shared also with cars and some minibuses, there is some sand, some gravel over there. I don't know if you can see it here, but because there is motor traffic, it packs down the snow much faster, and it can also polish it and can become slippery much faster. So we have a fixed taxi here backing up. Yeah, riding here it's good. It's good. Of course, it could be still better, but it's quite good. You can reach every place by bike, and relatively easy. And it's oftentimes it's much faster than using car or public transport. And the city is quite flat. That helps, sure. And the public transportation could be better. Hello to Belgium. Nice to have you here, Mart. On the left there is the market square. Not much happening there now, but there's a construction. They are building a hotel there, I hope. At least. Let's go this way. There's a wonderful 2 concrete silos that we have here. The one on the left is a theater, and the other one is a library. Some people like that kind of architecture, I guess. Well, it's a product of its time. Now we've already passed the city center. We just cycled through it, so as you saw, that it's a really small one. It's just about 1 kilometer times 2 kilometers. So really small. And let's stop here for a second. So, as you can see, there's a bridge there in the distance, and we are now entering the river delta. There's Oulujoki river that meets the sea here, the river mouth, and there's a series of bridges to cross that river. And those bridges over there, they used to be bridges already 100 years ago, and in 1940s they rebuilt them heavily for car traffic and so on. And those bridges existed, yeah, and they had separate cycle paths built on them in 1960s. Yeah, totally cyclable, but it wasn't too comfortable. And even still in 1970s, 1980s, when the strongest time of automobilization was going on, the city engineers, city planners managed to push through a series of these bridges just for people walking and cycling to make crossing the river much more comfortable. And as you can see, this one was built in 1984. It's a bit too narrow now for the modern bicycle superhighway standard, but still it's perfectly usable. As you see, it's about 4.7 meters wide. I don't know if you noticed, but there was some person over there waving their hand that some of you might have even recognized. Oulu also used to have a castle, believe it or not. It used to be here on this island, and there's some small walls and that building there in the distance that are the only thing that's left of it. So yeah, the castle was mostly built out of wood, and naturally wooden structures have a tendency to burn down or even explode, like in this case. Yes, Brandon, the illumination is quite good indeed. This path was redone 2 or 3 years ago, mostly, apart from the bridges. The bridges are still original from 1980s. and most of this path was widened, and the bicycle and the pedestrian traffic was separated, and the illumination was also redone 2-3 years ago. We are now heading north. This path is one of the main paths that goes to the university campus area. Let's see what the counter says here now. As you can see, it's 17:26 o'clock. Hello Nick, nice to have you here from London. We've had 842 people cycling on this route today, and there's still much more to come. But in the distance on the left, you can see the light arc illuminated over there. That's another bridge just for people walking and cycling. So there is a lot of options here to cross the river. If you go upstream just 500 meters, there's 2 more bridges to cross it, and then 2 more, and so on. So one of the reasons why you are not actually seeing some let's say Netherlands class bicycle traffic jams here is that we've got a small amount of people here spread onto a huge vast area, and that also means we have an immense amount of bicycle paths here. And well, in fact, as we have 875 kilometers of bicycle paths like this, most are a bit more narrow though, it means that there's more than 4 meters of bicycle path per every person living in Oulu. So when you're cycling here, when you're walking here, all the people just disperse into this vast network space that we have here. Oh, it's so beautiful here now. Hey Eva, I'm sorry to hear that it's still so bad in Tampere. You know, I used to study in Tampere, and that really opened my eyes. Let's go here. Oh, look at that. Brandon, I've already told you that you are more than welcome here. And nice to have you here also from Lyon, France. Look at this now. I hope the image quality is good enough so you can actually get this. So we are in an island, or on an island, between 2 branches of the river. And since there is a rapid / hydroelectric power plant, and there's a lot of steam forming now. No, Jaakko, it's not -20 yet. It might go to -20 later in the evening. When I left home about an hour ago, it was -13, -14. It's wonderful. It's wonderful here. Yeah, talking about paintings, Glenn. There's a lot of street art that we have here. This one made by Salla Ikonen in 2017. Just one of those utility boxes or transformers or whatever it says. It says that there's life danger. Yeah, don't go there too close. Yeah, look, yes, this video should be saved for viewing afterwards. Look at this. So beautiful. There's a fireplace over there if you want to make use of that. And now we shouldn't go too far. It's a dead end here. Let's stop here for a second. A bit further. Let's try here. Can you see it? can you hear it? That is the river. It's good that you can at least hear it. And you can maybe hear the sound of the footsteps also. We could go here also. Pitch blackness. That's pretty close to what it was. So I believe that I am already walking on the river now. Yeah, there's some people doing ice fishing over there in the distance. This is really beautiful. Yeah, there's a couple of ice fishers. Let's take a walk here. Yeah, it is. It's colder than -7. It's -13, -14 now. Yes, -14 indeed. Paljonko tässä on jäätä suunnilleen? 55 senttiä. So they are saying that there's 55 centimeters of ice here. That's quite a lot. Have you got any? Onko tullut saalista? Oh, they have been here only for 5 minutes. Ja tuonne ei varmaan kovin kauan tai kovin lähelle reunaa kannata mennä.
Ei kannata mennä. Siinä tuntuu verran ääni kuuluu tuosta.
Joo, kuuluu se tähänkin asti. Ja. So yeah.
Onhan ne liikkunut, että tässä näkyy jälkiä.
Niinhän se näkyy jo, ja mä kahtelin tuolta aikaisemmin, että joku toinen päivä, että aika lähellä täällä istuskeli porukkaa. Että se oli hurjan näköistä tuolla. Kyllä. So yeah, talking about the ice conditions and how some people are braving the ice conditions even closer. Ja katsojat täällä, mulla on semmoinen 50 katsojaa täällä, tää on live-lähetys. Tosiaan niin siellä Amerikasta niin kysyvät, että niin, ymmärrättekö, että niin kuinka ihanaa meidän elämä täällä on?
Niin.
Niin.
Joo. Parempaa olla ennen.
Niin. So they are saying that they understand how good the life is here, and they are just saying that they can't imagine how it could be any better. So I'm really happy to hear that that people also here appreciate it and understand it, how beautiful it is here. Ja ihana kuulla oikeasti, että niinku ihmiset ymmärtää, kuinka hienoa täällä on. Ai että.
Olemme saatu jo ahvenia, mutta ei. Toissa viikolla oltiin tuolla Oritkarissa, oltiin siellä saatu.
Paljonko tuliko isua vätkyllä?
Saatimme 30 ahvenia.
Okay, so they were last time they were in a different spot and they got like 30 perches. If I remember correctly, that ahven is a perch. Maybe if somebody knows, they can correct me. Well, let's go back and continue the bike ride. Moro! So yeah, indeed, we are just like 1 kilometer from the city center and we are walking on the frozen river. There was a question about public transportation in Oulu. It's been getting better, yeah, sure, but since the starting point was so low, you can't really go much lower. So earlier, it's about how it was organized. They were private companies and the city would pay them if they made any loss, so they didn't really have any like motives to make their service any better. But since 2014, the organization scheme has changed and it's getting better slowly now, and we already had big growing numbers here, but then we had the COVID. Yeah, exactly. It costs like 3 euros 30 cents or something like that, like Luca said, for a single ride. Then again, you can have a travel card where you can load cash on that card and use it even for single bus rides, and that's 2 euros and 5 cents. So it's like almost 50% cheaper with that one. It's really good if you're only using public transportation now and then you got the monthly tickets, which are quite cheap. I don't even know the price. You can, I'd say that you can reach most places with the public transportation, but the intervals on most routes are 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and there's only a couple of roads like between the university and the city center and the airport where the buses go like every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes or so. Yeah, they are usable, but during like last 6 years I've used bus once, and that was when I left for a working trip with a train, but for some reason I had to come back to Oulu by flying, and the airport was 13-14 kilometers from the city center, and I didn't have a bike there, so I took a bus. So good, so good. Oh yeah, I also wanted to warn you guys, since it is -14, it could be that some of the electrical appliances I'm using, they die because of the cold. You never know how good they are. I have tested these quite a bit and they should be good, but in case there is an interruption, if the gimbal or the phone dies, I do have a backup with me. Might take a moment to set it up back again, so if the stream stops, just give me a moment and I hope we can be back online. But as of now I don't see any problems. Knocking on the wood. Knock, knock, knock. And as you see, it's good for people of all ages, all abilities. It's comfortable, nice and easy. And yes, there was a request about the signage system. I'll stop in a moment. This is another one of those bridges built in 1980s. This one was done in 1985, I believe. And on the right you can see the older bridges there in the distance. Oh look, by the way, also about the bus ticket prices. So if you use a travel card, you do not have to pay any extra in the night time. So even still in the night time with a travel card, you pay 2 euros and 5 cents, and that's it. So here is the canal or channel, whatever, for the hydroelectric water power plant that was built in 1940s in the distance over there. It was a huge construction project that back then, and that is the only power plant in this river which is actually owned by the city. And I just want to go to the right from here for a moment. No, I'm not using a separate phone. I don't have enough hands for that. So whenever I have some comments, they pop up on the screen and they stay there for a couple of seconds, so I don't always have time to read and answer all of them. But just look how beautiful it is. I just wanted to show you this. It's so wonderful. I'm going to switch hands, believe or not. Even my hands can get cold. Sorry for the shake. Yes, Jaakko, this is a really beautiful place, especially now when there's some fog steam coming from the water and it's catching up and accumulating into the trees. It is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, there isn't any illumination here, isn't there? Buddha, yes, just one-handed, as you see here, just like this. Yeah, Jaakko, I was actually about to turn around. Let's see what it says here. Exactly, Brandon, as you said, it has nothing to do with the weather conditions when you have the infrastructure and you have the maintenance. Okay, sure, if it's raining cats and dogs and it's minus 100 degrees Celsius and there's 18 meters of snow, sure, it can slow down some people for a moment. But it's not going to be like that every day. Most days are still perfectly accessible for most people when you have the good winter maintenance and good infrastructure. So yes, that is a hydro power plant over there, made in 1940s. So Nicola, indeed, I've heard that from so many cities, and for so many cities I have visited also. They could be so much more better, so much more accessible, and so much more comfortable to just spend time on if you had beautiful infrastructure, beautiful places like this. So people, and I'm sure that many of those cities, they have absolutely amazing places, and but it's just impossible to go to them. And many places you can only access places if you have a car, and even then you can't see everything from the car. Far from it, you can't see it. And besides, when you're inside those metal boxes, you miss all the other senses, like the taste of air, the smell, the sound. Like the sound of the flowing water here, it's just so beautiful now. But yeah, it's not the perfect city either here. There's still lots to do here, and it's really car-centric, as I've said it earlier. But at least there's something good here. Let's continue a bit further. Luca, yes, I do know the Psoas housing company. I used to live in one of their apartments myself also. There we go. And there was a request about the signage system. Let's see. This is probably the only uphill that we have here in Oulu. So let's stop here for a second. So, the main bicycle paths are signposted and branded. Our brand color is of course pink. We are now over there where you see Olet tässä, the black circle. We came from the Route 9 to north, the city center, and we are here now, have been going through these islands here. And the city center is where you have the number 10 over there. So we have the branded routes from 1 clockwise, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. and then there's a couple of circular routes like 21 and 23 and so on. And they've been signposted, and lots of other destinations have been signposted as well. And then there's this kind of traditional signage, and the main routes always before a major junction, so you can see which routes go where, what's the distance and so on. You can go to Haukipudas on route number 1, 19 kilometers, and then you can actually continue further. There is almost a continuous bike path all the way to E, which is more than 30 kilometers from here, and to the east, northeast, you can go to Kiiminki, more than 20 kilometers, and east southeast Muhos, 35 kilometers, south to Liminka and so on, like 40 kilometers to Lumijoki and so on. And at the very crossings, there's still these kind of traditional guideposts like these, signposts. A bit dark now to see it, and they are a bit high also. But yeah. Harry, we need some more illumination here. You can also look at the surface now that we're here. Let's go here. So this is perfectly smooth, hard packed snow. The layer thickness is maybe a few millimeters, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters maximum maybe now. Oh, and there's a cargo bike also, of course. Oh, Jonas, please do not even speak about the Tampere gravel. I do not want to have any of that here, please, thank you. You know, Jonas, they are probably selling enough bicycle tires here already as it is now. As there's so much more bikes here, so much more people just using their bikes. Yes, indeed, buck feet. You know, that's one thing that we are still missing here a bit too much. So there's actually no good places here to buy a cargo bike. Let's go now, try to get an uphill start. And we have the right of way here, of course we do, like you see in this sign. So yeah, we have several bike shops in the city, and I believe the biggest one or second biggest one in the entire Scandinavia or Fennoscandia is actually in Oulu, and not like in Oslo or Helsinki. There might be one in Stockholm, which is even bigger. I'm not sure about that. But still, most of these bike shops, they are not really selling cargo bikes. They can order you one, sure, but they are just saying that they take up too much space. Not hearing any bells. Well, there's absolutely been no need for bells. I've got one, but you can hear it there. But there's no conflicts, usually, at least. No, this bike is not a Helkama Jägeri, this is a Swedish one, an older one. Or maybe you meant some other bike. The projections have actually a problem now. They already messaged it. There's apparently some ice forming there in the projector, and it's causing these symbols to be a bit dizzy. So it's really difficult to even see them. I'm blocking the bike path now a bit. So yeah, they are trying to fix it, and we actually got, as Harry told me, that we are going to have like 10 more of these in some specific places, but we'll see them, more of them later. Jaakko was asking if I have a plan to buy an electric bike. No, I don't. I've already got like way too much bikes. Don't have space for them, and I don't need an e-bike. Me personally, I don't need it for anything, and if I would need one, I could actually probably borrow one from Harry. This is probably the only place along this road where we actually have to yield for the car traffic, and that was it. Yeah, Harry, it could be we need a heating system for those projectors, but I don't remember seeing that problem last winter. So I don't know where it comes from, the ice forming thing. And yes, we have many bike shops here, but of course they are not spread out evenly and they are not open 24/7. So that's one thing that we could try to work on, to how to make the bicycle repair more available, more accessible for people. Maybe have some self-serving machines and so on. I oftentimes, if I go for a longer ride, I personally do have a repair kit with me, but if I'm just minding my daily businesses in the city, the distances are still relatively short, so there's usually no need for that. And then in the city area you can still always take a bus or a taxi if you want. Am I close to Tirolentie? Yes, I am close to Tirolentie. We are arriving to Kaarnatie and Alppila area. So this area over here, it used to be industrial area just a few years ago, and it's a new development for residential buildings now. Let's go and have a look at this, for example. Just a random bike path that goes through this district. So we do not have bicycle racks on buses. You can take a bus, your bike in the bus, and in the buses there's space for baby prams and wheelchairs and so on, and you can put your bike there, but you have to pay a little extra. And not all taxis have bike racks, but if you request one, they will find you a taxi with a bike rack. So many of them, they do have bike racks. So this is just a public bike path going through this kind of apartment area. Let's actually see if we can go there. Making a loop. Let's go here. Really basic bike parking there. Part of it seems to be covered, but there's just those traditional wheel benders. Oh yeah, and what we have here on the surface, there is some gravel here, but this is a private property, so they can do whatever they please, unfortunately. But then again, this is not some kind of horrible stuff that would puncture your tires, even though it looks a bit similar. And look at this, all this car parking. And yeah, sure, we have also indoor bicycle parking facilities, but the indoor things, if they are not easily and quickly accessible, they are more like, I told Brandon already earlier, they are bicycle storage facilities or sports equipment storage, and they are not like vehicle parking. So if you are using a bike daily, you do not want to take it through doors and elevators and stairs and so on and store it indoors. Exactly, that's storing, not parking. Let's see if we can go here. It says no through drive, which usually means that it's possible to go through. Some more bikes here. No motor vehicles for this through drive. And let's just go here, for example. So all the time I'm improvising where to go. I don't really have a plan, just riding randomly. If some of you notices or recognizes the places where we are, just tell me your wishes or something like that, and let's see if I can go there, if I have the time, if I have the battery, and if it's not too far away. Oh, you live in that building. I see. It's good to have the bike parking in the ground floor. That's where it should be. It should be easily accessible. Then you can use it for sure. Let's see if we can make a uphill ride here once they come here. Entering a lot of people's hoods now, I see. One of the rare places where there is no bicycle path actually along this residential road. Not that it would be needed at all, but I believe they actually have some semi-decent bicycle parking in these areas here. So Luca, you said something about Tirolintie. This is Tirolintie number 2. And would you look at that, for example? Maintained bicycle parking here, covered and so on. And there's a question about roads getting icy. So I don't know if you notice it, but even here there is a tiny bit amount of gravel here on the surface. And then there's some more bicycle parking here, just residential bicycle parking. Yeah, I know the parties here in these student dormitories, they are legendary. So my bike light here, what I'm using it now at the lowest setting. It's just like 30 lumens, so it's definitely not too bright, and I'm pointing it to the surface. But even if I would be pointing it upwards, it wouldn't be too bright. So also I've been wondering, some people who use those lights that have like 1000 or 2000 lumens, what do you need it for? Sure, if you're going in the pitch black forests and so on with no snow to light up your way, then sure they can be good. But in daily traffic, no need for that. Not at all. Oh, there's a maintenance machine there. Yeah, indeed, we don't have much people on the streets here because, as I've explained it a minute earlier in this video, the city is so spread out. There's not too much people, 200,000 people living in a really big area. So people, even the car drivers, people walking, people cycling, they disperse into this vast area. And there we have a temperature reading. It says -14 now. And how does it look like if we change the camera? Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. Hey all. Yeah, that's it. There you have. you know, you're not interested in my beard or anything like that, but more like the snow. So as you see, this is a bike path here that I'm riding on. Looks like now that it's actually wider than the entire street. And let's switch the camera if I can do that with the gloves on. Yeah, much better now. It's always lovely when you can see your own breath. So yeah, there's some space for the snow on the left, and most of the snow has just recently been removed, so that there is again space to put some new snow once we have some more snowfall here. So exactly, Harry, I was coming to that. So we did make the drive lanes more narrow so that we could fit a good quality bicycle superhighway here. Harry can tell the details by how many meters the street was made more narrow. The bike path here is 5.6 meters, I recall. And they've been recently removing some snow from here. Do we have to stop for traffic lights? Yeah, so between the city center and the university, this is the only place where you have traffic lights, and usually you don't even have to stop for here. Now this is poor planning. Harry, can you make these traffic lights a bit faster? I've already had to wait a amount of multiple seconds here. Now can we go now? Yeah, thank you. Now these lights, they apply to both people cycling and walking. The Finnish traffic law nowadays finally includes a possibility to make separate bicycle traffic lights. We don't have them yet in the city at all. I believe Jonas, for example, who is there in the chat with us, maybe, hopefully still, can tell more about the situation of bicycle traffic lights in Finland. It's peaceful and quiet. Yeah, indeed, there is a underpass on the west, but that is not optimal to the route I'm taking now. And in my opinion, that specific underpass was a waste of money. And again, I'm sure that there's people for whom that underpass is good, but we could have used the money better, to be honest. Then again, if we are just talking about one underpass, it doesn't really matter. It's just a tiny fraction of city's budget. If you wanna go skating, not too many people here anymore, but there is, I believe, 83 or 85 outdoor skating rinks in the city of Oulu, and if you count in the nearby municipality of Kempele, which is actually closer than many parts of Oulu actually are, then we have a combination of more than 100 outdoor skating rinks. And you can access them by bicycle or by car, it seems. 83 could be 85, something like that. And they are maintained by the city. There could be lots of unofficial ones. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to say that this yellow light you see there, there's a Nordic ski path. And then you notice this guy. coming from there. There's a huge system of single tracks here in the city. One of the few positive sides. There we go. And as you can see, some of those paths are so good that you don't need a fat bike even in the winter. That was just a regular narrow-tired mountain bike that guy was using over there. Yeah, so that network of those unofficial paths is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of kilometers long. And here we are going under the main national highway. This tunnel was built in 1960s, I believe, or 1970s. I don't have the exact number for that one. And just to show you once more, we just went under a national highway with 100 kilometer speed limit. Yeah. And you can see it's good, well illuminated there. And the illumination is on also in the daytime because there's such a huge contrast with the daylight and the dark tunnel. So it's good to keep it on even during the night. Yeah, let's climb up. Can you hear the highway? I don't know how the mic is picking it up. Yeah. Even though we are going like it looks like in the middle of nothing, in the middle of forest, we are still actually between a national highway and a residential area. Let's go to here. This is an old bike path before we built a new one on the left. This is just nowadays a secondary bike path, but still so beautiful here. And you couldn't imagine that there's a national highway right next to us, a bicycle highway even closer, and a residential area just to our right. Over there somewhere. I'm sure, Luca, that you remember this path really well. If you lived in Alppila and went to the university, you must have been traveling here so many times. Let's go this way now. And now we have a broken light here. Oh, happy to see that somebody else also loves my beard. It's not just me. It's seriously, it's fucking awesome. Just this kind of housing here. So like so many of our residential streets, this one is a dead end for cars, but not for people walking and cycling. Yeah, this is Cinema area. If you want to look it up from the map, you can spell it like Jaakko just did. No motor vehicles apart from mail delivery. It's really rare sign, that one. So you can just take this shortcut and you are on another residential road again. So if you want to access from this house to the previous ones by car, you legally have to go around a detour. But if you walk, it's just 50 meters or so. Shortcut indeed. And now let's go to the left. Enough of that street. At least so far the battery and the gimbal seem to be working quite well. Eliavistakatu 16 is where you want me to go. Let's see. Let's have a look about that. I don't promise it to you yet. Looks like the whole Oulu is just one giant forest. Well, it basically is. And that's so wonderful. The only bad thing is that leaving a lot of space in between the areas gives much longer distances, and then people are much more likely to use cars for transportation. Back again at Linnanmaa Baana, one of our bicycle superhighways, the first one actually of the modern ones to be built. Yeah, I agree with this pond. It's just totally unprotected, facing all the wind chill from riding, and it's getting colder by the minute all the time. Let's go this way. Yeah, I could. We traditionally here in Oulu we didn't have right of way rules between bicycle paths and other bicycle paths. It was just a basic rule of whoever comes from the right has the right of way. But since we started building those bicycle superhighways, they actually have the priority over other so-called secondary bicycle paths. There is an ice hockey hall over there if you want to go there for some reason. And in addition to those indoor ice hockey halls, there are several outdoor ones. So let's just quickly go here first. Again, up ahead there is an underpass, again under the same very national highway. You can access the neighborhood on the other side through this underpass, so it's easy to just buy your shopping from that giant hypermarket, use your bike, go even by foot if you want. And if you would want to access the hypermarket by car, it would be just so much longer distance. Let's make a U-turn. There's a bus stop up there. Let's go this way now. Exactly, Harry. It could be that for me to reach a distance of 1 kilometer, it could take an hour or 2 or 8. Who knows? So now there was a question in the chat, but I can't see it anymore. Well, let's go see this hypermarket. Oh, they've got a lot of gravel here, as you see in the surface. So this is one of the biggest hypermarkets in the area with relatively good bike parking over there, and then there's some more bike parking here. Yeah, there's parking for cars as well. A lot of that. I don't think so. It's not that cold. Yeah. You can even make those car-centric hypermarkets accessible by bike and by foot if you want to. Go to right from here. There's one more underpass on the left if you want to go that way. But let us go this way. And so that you can see the hypermarket area over there. And we can just go into one more or two more underpasses here. It's important that these downhills and uphills to and from underpasses are not too steep, so that they are accessible for everybody and also that they are safe. So let's go this way. So it's really easy to do unplanned bicycle rides here in Oulu. As you have just the bicycle paths, you have them everywhere. Yeah, exactly. The Limingantulli Prisma is not as good, but that one is still perfectly accessible by bike too. But it's not as good as this one. Totally correct there. And one more broken light. And we are starting to arrive at the university area. You can actually take a... No, let's not go there. Poor illumination over there. No, it's totally fine. And as you can see here, they have pushed the snowbank a bit further away to the right, so that there is again more space for new snow whenever we get some. So we now haven't got pretty much any new snow in the few days, so the maintenance workers have time to push the snow away and transport it away, and that way prepare for future snowfalls and make their own job much easier. And one more underpass over there. Now let's go this way. Blue hour goes into my fingers. What do you mean, Jonas? I hope my fingers are not blue though. Ah, I see. It's not too bad yet. And now it looks more like a red hour or yellow hour. So here we have a couple of the university entrances. It's just I'm only exhausted from talking so much. Yeah, believe it or not. But it's really weird to see this place so empty of bikes. One of the main bicycle parking lots of the university area. And there's several other ones, smaller ones around the university. so you can access it from every direction naturally. Yes, this is one of the main entrances, the entrance number 2T. Reminds me of this classic joke of Finnish rally English. I think he was some minister of ours or some other politicians who wasn't really that fluent in English and asked for 2T to T to 30 to 32. If somebody can understand that, please write it down here in the chat. That was supposed to be English. And then there's giant parking places, of course. We sometimes call that the metal cow jungle. Peltilehmä viidakko. Amazeballs. I love that word. Amazeballs. I don't know if you can see the airplane up there in the distance, that single white dot over there. I wonder if I can get somewhere from here. Probably I can. So there was again a question about the equipment. I'm just using a DJI Osmo Mobile 3 handheld gimbal and the Sony Xperia 5 Mark II mobile phone, and an external microphone with a small fur wind protection. Now, yeah, I was thinking about mounting the camera into the handlebar, but then it would be really fixed to positions and I couldn't show you around easily. Thing is, I'm probably the only Finn who doesn't now have an access to sauna. I would fucking love to go to sauna. It's not cold though, but it's been ages since I've been in the sauna last time. Oh, what do we have here, by the way? Hey, look at that. So, gotta love these. Sauna there in keskustaa. Whoa. So what is your address? I'm coming right away. And there was again a question about what bike I'm using. So this gimbal is about 100 euros, I believe. About the bike, there you go. Oh, can I help? Would you stay there? Thank you. This is a wonderful bike. And see around. No, it's not a mummopyörä, it's a pappapyörä, pappiska. There's a huge difference between them, and even in Dutch they have words for them. So it is an oppafiets and a mummiska would be omafiets. Hey there. Where's the camera? Is here? Yeah. That's a lovely. Enough of me. Let's continue riding. We are here for a bike ride and not for a frozen beard ride. Just getting my glove back on is always a bit of a hassle, just with one hand. And as I'm always telling everybody about this bike, it's from 1937, so it's 84 years old. Let's go this way. My dad, Dutch. No, I can't speak Dutch. Ich weiß doch ein bisschen Deutsch, aber ich habe schon ganz alles vergessen, was ich einmal auf Deutsch konnte. Oh, what do you have here? Saatiko kuvata pikkusen? Saako kuvata live-lähetys menossa? Yeah. So they are playing here. Kyykkämölökky. Traditional student game here. I used to play these too. Kyykkää, kyykkää. So would you like to watch this? And another one. There we go. That's over there, one of them. It's called Kyykkä. So there's two teams here. I might be explaining the rules wrong because it's been ages since I've been playing this last time. There's two teams here and they are trying to fall down each other's, what do you call those even in English? Yeah, I like mölkky much more too. Here we go. Now, guess it's the other team's turn, is it? Taking off the jackets. Now let's go. Show them how it's done. Look at that. Concentration. And there we go. 3 down or 4 down, yes, 4 down. Such professionalism. And then, there we go. Oh, that was a good one. There we go. Exactly, Brandon, as you say. It is the infrastructure and so on that makes it possible for people to enjoy outdoors and these wonderful opportunities that winter is giving us. Okay, let's look at one more throw and then we can continue our ride. See that? Concentrate and off we go. Oh, that's a miss. And one more. Now that was much better. There we go. Let's continue. Kiitoksia kaikille. Now let's go this way. I just decided to go this way. Yeah, I was on the sea yesterday. In both Nallikari and between Oritkari and Vihiluoto. So there's lights on the right. It's again one ice rink there, outdoor ice rink, one of the 83 that we have in the city. I'm sure that drinking beer played a significant role in coming up with that game's rules. Oh, hi Matthew. I hope you enjoyed too. It was really beautiful there. So beautiful yesterday with all the sunshine, and there was so many people also on the ice enjoying. So you can't see it, but there's a lake behind the trees. Just as you can't see it, you can just imagine it. And yeah, as Jaakko is saying, there's a school on the left, and then there's, as I said, there's a lake on the right. Just imagine it. And here we are going. Always good to live at home, but it's also good to leave home once in a while, especially if you can do it by bicycle or by a kick sled or by skis or your own feet or whatever you prefer. Yes, this is Kuivasjärvi Lake indeed. Exactly. No, there's absolutely no need for special tires. The maintenance is usually so good that there's absolutely no need for anything special. You can just use whatever piece of shit bike you have. You can even call them POS, or you can call them BSO, bicycle shaped objects, and it's perfect for our conditions. And whatever winter gear you have, winter clothes, whatever you would put on you when you go for a walk, for example, they are perfect for bike riding in the winter. So yeah, I'm using just regular tires on that one. And here's a ski path, cross-country ski path going that way. It's also, of course, it's illuminated. And unfortunately, we do not have an underpass here between the ski track and the bike path. So this is a horrible intersection, and there's always deadly crashes here. Oh, I'm a husband now. Good to hear that. Or you could just go into the darkness if you wanted. Which you can't see anything here. You can maybe hear it. I can understand if somebody uses stronger lights here in these kind of conditions, but here the lake opens. No, it's not possible to see anything here. Or the sky with the clouds and the atmosphere, and this just silence. It's so beautiful. Got to love it. Kaijan kipsa, that's a good one. Unfortunately, I'm not hungry really yet. Yeah, you can go cycling in Papijärvi too. It's a bit far from here now, like 20-30 kilometers to the totally different direction. And I'm sure there's so many people been walking there and riding their bikes that you could even ride this opafeets, pappiska in Finnish, over there as well. Let's continue. And while we're at it, let's see. So yeah, that is actually, it's part of the bicycle culture to have these older and just basic bikes. They do the job when you just want to go somewhere for a quick ride. You want to go from home to job or home to supermarket or whatever you want to do for a few kilometers. You don't need anything fancy for that. And if somebody actually would happen to steal it for some reason, you lost a bike that was worth maybe 50 euros and just get a new one. Or then your home insurance covers for it. So this is a kind of residential area most of people in Oulu live in. Just single family houses with several cars or car shaped objects, metal boxes, whatever you want to call them, those machines. This is a dead end street for cars, but I entered it from the dead end part where there was a connection to the bike path network. So from almost every dead end street here you can find a connection to bicycle paths. And while we get to the collector street here, like this, there's a bike path along it. No, my Silta, it's not my only bike. I'm trying to cut down. I have now about 15, 16, 17, 18 bikes, something like that. But always when I try to get rid of them, there's 2 more coming or something. So maybe I actually have to try to do it the opposite way. Try to get new bikes, so maybe then I will get rid of more of them. Maybe that will work that way. Again, in the middle of a residential area, there's single family houses all around us. But here in the middle of them, you have this beautiful park area. There's a small playground over there. And so on. Yeah, indeed. N+1 strikes again. Indeed it does. And maybe somebody can catch what I mean when I say that in Finnish I have 18 bicycles, but in English only 17. Why is that? Bikes should not be stolen. Definitely not. It's hugely annoying, of course, if your bike gets stolen. And bicycle theft, it is a big problem in the city. Most bicycles that are stolen are the old POS, BSO, piece of shit, bicycle shaped object type of bikes that get stolen on the Friday evening after or early Saturday morning in the wee hours, like they would say probably in the Britain. And it's just annoying. You can get a new one, you lost maybe 20 euros or 200 euros or something, but yeah, it's super annoying. And your home insurance would probably cover it. You have to pay a bit yourself too. But I don't know, we could invest a bit more in better bicycle parking and so on, but other than that, the police doesn't have too much resources. Maybe they should have some more. I don't know, it's a bit difficult to think about solutions for those like everyday bike thefts. Then again, the professional ones who break into storage houses and cut off U-locks and so on, that's professional stuff, so that's a different thing. So this is one of the most horrible places in Oulu. That huge green building, if you could say. It's called Idea Park, a big mall. Lots of cars here. Yeah, you can access it by bicycle. Of course you can. I've actually never even been there, unless you count one time when they had been in the business for 1 year and they were offering free cake. So I went there for a piece of free cake and that's it. You know, I just got a warning that there is only 15% of battery left in my phone. So probably I will have to end this live stream soon. It's been going now for 1 hour 41 minutes, which is quite good. I was honestly expecting even a bit more. But even here, them kiddos can be going totally on their own. On the safe paths. Free cake, yeah, indeed. Always good when there's free cake. Let's go over there. Here. Cake is a lie. Or maybe somebody remembers Eddie Izzard's sketch Cake or Death. Do you want a piece of cake or do you want to die? Let me think. Okay, let's exit this Idea Park area and follow these kiddos. So that big building that we rode past, it's a huge mall, huge shopping area. I hate that. Speed limits on most residential streets are 30 kilometers per hour. There's some which are 40 kilometers. And then there's a couple of arterial roads that are 50 or even 60. But most streets, residential streets, are 30. We are now entering a 40 kilometer zone here. So everything here in this area is 40 unless otherwise specified. And if you turn here, you can see the aerial speed limit of 30 kilometers per hour. Yeah. Yeah, so why do I have more bicycles in Finnish? Because one of them has 3 wheels. So it's not a bicycle in English. But in Finnish it is a polkupyörä. Simple as that. Hey, 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 you may laugh now if you want to. Always good to see these bikes. Combino. And let's take for the last moment while I still have some battery left. We have some school buildings here. So this is one of the schools. Koulu means school. And of course you have bicycle parking here with bad racks though. It's actually just an added building because they had much more students than they anticipated when they built those buildings up ahead, which are the main school. Let's go this way. And there's a library here also. So this is more like a community center that includes a big school as well. So here you can see one kick sled. Good for transporting your groceries or for your child or yourself. Let's make a U-turn to the right. Turn right from here. go through the parking lot. Go here. Much nicer side of the school. I see the video is a bit tilted, but maybe we can live with that. Some more bicycle parking over there and behind us, and so it would be so different here during the daytime when everything's full of bikes and bikes and bikes and bikes, like these horrible bike racks here. Yeah, I'm seeing now that the battery is starting to die, so the video is starting to interrupt. Hope you can still hear me. So it's probably better for me to stop and quit now. And while we're at it, it's been 1 hour and 47 minutes now, and I have still 6% of battery left. So here you can see set up, there's a mic, and it's just a handheld gimbal. Thank you everybody who joined me today. I hope I can do much more of these, and if you have ideas of what I should do, what kind of tours you would like to see, what kind of places you would like to see, and if you have ideas of making these streams better, or any criticism, comments, wishes, and so on, and please let me know, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it to others if you liked it. Wonderful. Thank you everybody. We're quitting, and now I've got to cycle like 15 kilometers back home. Wonderful. Thank you.